So I just got done dropping off a bounce house from my bounce house rental business that I started a few months ago, and they went in the backyard. This will all tie together. They went in the backyard, and these things are heavy when they're rolled up, let me tell you. So they went in the backyard. The backyard is the steepest fucking yard that I've seen in my life, and the inflatable weighs about like 250, maybe 300 pounds, and I weigh like 130. So it's kind of sketchy, and it was like very risky for me to do that, and it's kind of risking me getting injured, risking me not being able to get it back up at the end of the day when I pick it up. But that little story I just told you got me thinking about the broader picture, bigger picture of the entire business that I started a few months ago. And when I first started this, I took a huge risk, and I don't think I've even like fully digested how big of a risk it was. I just kind of was numb to it. I was just going through the motions. I spent 50% of my net worth on this idea, this bounce house rental business. I freaking met a guy on Facebook Marketplace, dropped $4,000 on the inflatables. Now, that's not 50% of my net worth. There's some other expenses involved, like insurance. So, but that's besides the point. $4K I dropped with the click of a button on 3 different inflatables from some guy I met on Facebook Marketplace. Drove 3.5 hours to go get them, 3.5 hours back, all because of a little idea I had to start this business. And granted, I had done a few months of research, watching a lot of different videos in the Facebook group, getting tips from a lot of other people. And so I really thought it through, but nonetheless, it was a huge risk. Spending half my money that I worked so hard for saving up on an idea that, honestly, the only reason I did it is because I believed in, oh shit, I have dirt on my neck. It's because I fucking believed in myself. That was the only thing I had going. Like, people around me were telling me, I mean, are you sure you want to do this? It's not really a good idea. It's risky, but had to follow through with it. And the only thing that I had to rely on was believing in myself and knowing that I would be able to figure it out. I'd push through the problems, and that I could get it done. And I trusted myself, because if you don't have that, you have nothing else. So you guys gotta believe in yourself. So I hope that little story I told you sets the stage for the rest of this video, because if you guys are young like myself, I'm 21 years old. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that are younger, maybe some older. And honestly, you're never too old, but when you're young, you have to take big risks. This is the only time, or the best time I should say, because you can always take risk, but the best time is when you're young. So please take advantage of that. I'm begging you. I'm so glad that I did this. When I first bought them, dropped $4K and then got them home, and then I was trying to load them back into my truck after, and I could not do that. Even with my girlfriend's help, me and her, I've never felt so powerless in my life. Me and her could not load one of them. It was so heavy, and I just spent so much money on it, and I had a mental fucking breakdown because, like, everyone was telling me not to do it. I fucking did it anyway, and then I was so afraid it wasn't gonna work because we couldn't figure out how to load them. And I was like freaking out and had a mental breakdown, but here I am, like, that was probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago, still here, killing it, making my money back, and like, I'm so glad I took that risk. And you're gonna go through those low points, but you gotta keep pushing. I felt just, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a dead end. Like, I made the worst decision of my life in that moment, but I kept pushing through. We figured out how to load it. We used our fucking brains and figured out like a creative way to load it, even though we're both like super like lightweight, and those things are super heavy, but we figured it out. And like, that's just a metaphor for life. Like, you're gonna figure it out if you just keep trying. But I'm so glad I took the risk of starting this thing, because do I really want to start it when I have a bunch of kids? Do I really want to start it when I have a mortgage to pay off? Like, no. This is the time to start it. I'm so glad I did it. And you know what? Maybe I'm like celebrating too early. Even if this thing falls through, Even if I lose all my money, I get sued, I fucking close the business down, I don't know, like I don't make any money from it, waste all my money. Say I squander $10,000. That $10,000 to me is worth it for all the lessons that I'm learning right now about like business, just life lessons in general. Because it's not about starting a bounce house rental company, guys. I'm not like, this is not my dream. This is not my fucking passion. This is not my lifelong project, is to rent out bounce houses. No, it's just a business. It's a practice business. Maybe that's bad to say, but I'm learning so much from this. And do you really think that you're ever going to have a big business, a big success? A lot of you guys think you're going to be like this big, successful millionaire, billionaire, driving all these fancy cars and shit. You think you're going to do that because you see that on TikTok and you watch all these, like, I watch it too. I watch the motivational stuff too. But you can't sit there and watch all this motivational bullshit and think that you're magically one day going to be this super successful, rich guy, famous guy with this big business or whatever if you never even started small. Like, how do you think those guys with big businesses that are bringing in tons of money, how do you think they started? You think their first business was that successful fucking big ass business? No, they started small. This is a small business. I didn't even spend $10K on the startup costs, and it's just me running it. I don't have any employees yet. Hopefully will by next year, but don't have any employees. It's just a small thing. But I mean, I'm learning everything about it. I'm learning marketing, sales, acquiring customers, operations, daily operations, reinvesting, best reinvestment plans. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter if you start off with, like, I've tried so many different businesses and I've failed at so many different things. I've tried Amazon FBA, I've tried YouTube. Those are the two recent ones, to name a couple. And I tried drop shipping as well, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well. I feel like every fucking guy our age has tried drop shipping. But the thing is, they aren't failures, guys. Like, drop shipping, that taught me how to build a website, which I used for this business. I got this website for my bounce house business set up in a day. You think I could have done that if I didn't fail at drop shipping first? With Amazon FBA, I learned how to, like, find products that people are gonna like, and you gotta cater to the customer, and you gotta think about your ideal customer and what they're gonna like. You can't buy shit that people aren't gonna like, which I did do. I bought a lot of stuff that on paper would have been profitable, but if it's not profitable if no one's gonna pay you for it. That's what you gotta realize. So I knew how to choose units, that inflatables for this business that people are actually gonna like. That's why I started with like classic looking bounce houses, not no like crazy designs or anything. I like curated which ones I was gonna start with. Do you think if I didn't fail at Amazon FBA and spent hundreds of dollars, I think I spent thousands actually buying the inventory for that, do you think if I didn't fail at that, I would have known that you got to cater to the customer? Maybe I would have, but I wouldn't have realized it like such a strong lesson. Like, some lessons you gotta learn the hard way, because that's what makes them actually stick. I just hope my message is getting across to you guys, because this is like, I'm really passionate about this. I'm sure you guys have started stuff and failed at stuff. We all have, but don't think of it as a failure. Like, in the moment, maybe I think of it as a failure. I put in so many hours on Amazon FBA, like buying the stuff, like packing it and everything, and all I made was, I think I finished it out with like maybe 1,000 profit. I think it might have been 700 for like 2 months of work. Like, that's not paying the bills at all, guys. But the thing is, it's not about the money that I took from that business. It's about all the lessons that I learned. And if I never would have done that, I never would have learned those lessons. Like, I could have watched YouTube videos on it, but that doesn't make it stick. So when you guys look at the things that you have failed at, do not think of them as failures. Please don't. Every failure you have is a step forward. You got to fail your way to success. Success is up here, And in between it is so many obstacles of failure, and you just have to push through those obstacles of failure. Like, you're not gonna avoid failure. And if you guys are afraid to fail, you're never gonna fucking succeed. Like, I failed so many times, and I'm sure you guys have as well. But you can't give up, because every time you fail, you're one step closer to success. And you can't succeed without the failures. I'm just trying to hammer this point home to you guys. Let me think of that other example I was thinking of. With YouTube. Yeah. Here I am still doing it. It's not the very edited type of video that I used to make. I used to make the very edited, like, Mr. Beast style videos, which I don't really like that as much anymore, you could say, because I don't post those anymore. But, like, I've learned so much about video editing, copy for, like, the descriptions and things, which have carried over to this business. And I'm not going to do this bounce house business forever. Like, that is not my plan at all. Like, I will either sell the business eventually, or, like, as a whole, or just sell off all the, like, inflatables just piece by piece. But I'm not going to do this forever. I do enjoy it, though, and I definitely want to grow this, and like, delivering a good customer experience as well. Like, every time I get a 5-star review, it's like, hell yeah, because I know that I provided that value. So it's not like I'm just in it for the money. I'm in it for, like, delivering a good customer experience, life lessons, things like that. And just providing value, because value equals money either way. So either way, you're going to win if you provide good value to customers. But this is not my, like, end all be all. This is not going to be my final business. It's far from it. I know I have a lot more businesses, and I'm going to say this, I know I have a lot more failures in front of me, and it's going to be painful. I'm going to have, every failure is hopefully going to be bigger than the last, which is bad or scary to say, but that's just how it is. Like, I know that I've not experienced shit yet, and I'm so naive to all the failures that are coming my way and all the dark times. But you can't have the good times without the dark times, and can't have success without the failures. That's the whole point of this video. So the key takeaway I want you guys to know is risk it. I know I started talking about failures as well, but that risking stuff ties into failures, and failures equals success. So take big risks. Please take big risks. I've never felt more alive than when I dropped half my money on this business, and as a huge risk. I guess I was kind of reserved by only spending half my money, but the other half was, like, tied up in stocks, and I didn't really want to sell the stocks, so I could have spent more on it. But spending half your money is scary, let me just say that, especially when it takes you, honestly, to save up the money I did, it took me at least a year to save that much. So I just want to encourage you guys, like, what do you really have to lose? Think about that. Like, if you lose all your money right now, can you rebuild still? Yes, you can. If you lose all your money right now, will you still be able to make money? Yes, you will. Will you, like, take huge life lessons from it, even if you lose everything? Yes, because if that's the price you have to pay, is losing everything, let me tell you, those lessons that you're going to take from that experience are going to make you the man that you need to become to be successful. You can't be successful without becoming the man that will be successful, or woman, if you're, I don't know how much of my audience is that, but you can't just magically become successful. Like, you have to be the person capable of being successful with all those skills, all those failures under your belt, all those the scars from war that you experienced. You can't be successful without those. You can't fake your way to failure. If you will, you'll crash and burn soon enough. You got to go through the hard times. You got to go through the failures. Take the big risk. And that's what I want to leave you guys with. See you guys in the next one.